There are 5 causes which render wholesome discipline impossible: egoism, delusion, carelessness, illness, and idleness. Please continue watching to find out more about the wisdom of Jainism.
Vegan. What else to show God's love within us?
आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा. Virtuous viewers, I just said nice to meet you in Hindi. I'm Jairaj. The caring Indian people wish you happiness and abundance in heaven's loving grace. May Lord Mahavira bless you. The religion of Jainism, traditionally called Jain Dharma, originated in ancient India. Jain Dharma emphasizes the value of right perception, right knowledge, and right conduct. Through inner reflection and sincere practice of these principles, one can attain moksha, or realization of the soul's true nature. The concept of ahimsa, or non-violence, is also central to Jainism. Thus, with respect for all life, Jain practitioners follow a pure vegan or plant-based diet. The Jain lineage includes 24 Tirthankaras, or beings who share their enlightenment with others. The Tirthankaras' teachings comprise the Agam sutras, which are the holy scriptures of Jainism. The 24th and last Tirthankara was Lord Mahavira, whose name means great hero. Born into a royal family in 599 BC, Prince Mahavira decided as a young man to pursue a solitary spiritual life. After 12 years of intensive meditation, he attained kevala jnana, or the highest wisdom. Lord Mahavira was known to face all obstacles with acceptance and forgiveness. He also shared discourses on spiritual truths which formed the basis of present-day Jainism. Supreme Master Ching Hai has offered tribute to the spiritual greatness of Lord Mahavira as during lectures given in Taiwan, also known as Formosa, on various occasions.
I don't know if anyone in the history of mankind could have done, or could be doing, or will be doing such an asceticism, such a sacrifice like the Lord Mahavira. We really salute him and are grateful. To all that he has to endure. For enlightenment, for the sake of others, yes. All these sufferings are not for naught. They would benefit the world in some way or another, even without the Lord Mahavira knowing, or even without the world people knowing or being grateful for.
We now invite you to listen to excerpts from Uttaradhyayana, one of the most important scriptures in Jainism. 11th Lecture, The Very Learned. I shall explain in due order the right discipline of a houseless monk who has got rid of all worldly ties. Listen to me. He who is ignorant of the truth, egoistical, greedy, without self-discipline, and who talks loosely is called ill-behaved and void of learning. There are 5 causes which render wholesome discipline impossible: egoism, delusion, carelessness, illness, and idleness. The 8 causes of the discipline called virtue, namely, not to be fond of mirth, to control one's self, not to speak evil of others, not to be without discipline, not to be of wrong discipline, not to be covetous, not to be choleric, to love the truth, for they influence the discipline called virtue. A monk who is liable to the following 14 charges is called ill-behaved and does not reach nirvana. If he is frequently angry, if he perseveres in his wrath, if he spurns friendly advice, if he is proud of his learning, if he finds fault with others, if he is angry even with friends, if he speaks evil even of a good friend behind his back, if he is aggressive in his assertions, if he is malicious, egoistical, greedy, without self-discipline, if he does not share with others, if he is always unkind, then he is called ill-behaved. But for the following 15 good qualities, he is called well-behaved. If he is always humble, steady, free from deceit and curiosity, if he abuses nobody, if he does not persevere in his wrath, if he listens to friendly advice, if he is not proud of his learning, if he does not find fault with others, if he is not angry with friends, if he speaks well even of a bad friend behind his back, if he abstains from quarrels and rows, if he is enlightened, polite, decent, and quiet, then he is called well-behaved. He who always acknowledges his allegiance to his teacher, who has religious zeal and ardor for study, who is kind in words and actions, deserves to be instructed. As a water put into a shell shines with a doubled brilliancy, so do the piety, fame, and knowledge of a very learned monk. As a trained Tirthankara steed, Buddha's horse person, whom no noise frightens, exceeds all other horses in speed, so a very learned monk is superior to all others. As a valiant hero bestriding a trained horse, with heralds singing out to his right and left, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As a strong and irresistible elephant of 60 years, surrounded by his females, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As a sharp-horned, strong-necked bullock, the leader of the herd, is a fine sight, so is a very learned monk. As a proud lion with sharp fangs who brooks no assault is superior to all animals, so is a very learned monk, superior to all men. As a Vasudeva, the god with the conch, discus, and club, who fights with an irresistible strength, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As a universal monarch with his fourfold army and great power, the possessor of the 14 attributes of a king, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As Sakra, the thousand-eyed, the wielder of the thunderbolt, the fortress destroyer, the king of gods, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the rising sun, the dispeller of darkness, who burns as it were with light, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the moon, the queen of the stars, surrounded by the asterisms, when she is full at full moon, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As a well-guarded storehouse of merchants, which is filled with grain of many kinds, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the best of bamboo trees, called Sudarsana, which is the abode of the presiding deity, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the best of rivers, the ocean-flowing stream Sita, with its dark waters, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the best of hills, high Mount Mandara, on which various plants shed a bright luster, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. As the ocean of inexhaustible water, the delight of Swayambhu, a self-manifested image of a deity, which is full of precious things of many kinds, has no equal, neither has a very learned monk. Monks who equal the ocean in depth, who are difficult to overcome, are frightened by nobody or nothing, and are not easily assailed, who are full of extensive learning and take care of themselves, will go to the highest place after their karma has been annihilated. Therefore, seeker after the highest truth, study the sacred lore, in order to cause yourself and others to attain perfection. Thus I say. 12th Lecture, Harikesa. Harikesa Bala was born in a family of Swapakas, Kandalas. He became a monk and a sage possessed of the highest virtues, who had subdued his senses. He observed the rules with regard to walking, begging, speaking, easing nature, and receiving and keeping of things necessary for a monk, controlled himself and was always attentive to his duty. He protected from sin his thoughts, speech, and body, and subdued his senses. Once on his begging tour, he approached the enclosure of a Brahmanical sacrifice. When the priests saw him coming up, emaciated by austerities, in a miserable condition, and with the poorest outfit, they laughed at him, the ruffians. Stuck up by pride of birth, those killers of animals, who did not subdue their senses, the unchaste sinners, made the following speech. Who is that dandy coming there? He is swarthy, dreadful, with a turned-up nose, miserably clad, a very devil of a dirty man, with a filthy cloth put on his neck. Who are you, you monster, or for what purpose have you come here, you miserably clad devil of a dirty man? Go, get away. Why stand you there? At this turn, the Yaksha, who lived in the Tinduka tree, had compassion on the great sage, and making his own body invisible, spoke the following words. I am a chaste Shramana, controlling myself. I have no property, nothing belonging to me, and do not cook my food. I have come for food which is dressed for somebody else at the time when I call. You give away, eat and consume plenty of food. Know that I subsist by begging. Let the mendicant get what is left of the rest.
Think of the cruelty to animals that meat eating involves, and its effect on those who inflict and those who behold it. How it destroys the tenderness with which we should regard these creatures of God. Ellen Goldwhite, vegetarian.
We now invite you to continue listening to excerpts from the 12th lecture of Uttaradhyayana, one of the most important scriptures in Jainism. The story continued as Harikesa Bala, a great rishi, was badly treated by priests. 12th lecture, Harikesa. At this turn, the Yaksha, who lived in the Tinduka tree, had compassion on the great sage, and making his own body invisible, spoke the following words. I am a chaste Shramana, controlling myself. I have no property, nothing belonging to me, and do not cook my food. I have come for food which is dressed for somebody else at the time when I call. You give away, eat and consume plenty of food. Know that I subsist by begging. Let the mendicant get what is left of the rest. The dinner has been prepared for Brahmanas. It has been got ready specially for ourselves and for us exclusively. We shall not give you such food and drink. Why stand you there? The husbandmen throw the corn on high ground and on low ground, hoping for a return. For the like motive give unto me, I may be the field which may produce merit, as the return for your benevolence. All the world knows that we are, as it were, the field on which gifts sown grow up as merit. Brahmanas of pure birth and knowledge are the blessed fields. Those who are full of anger and pride, who kill, lie, steal, and own property, are Brahmanas without pure birth and knowledge. They are very bad fields. You are only the bearer of words, as it were. You do not understand their meaning, though you have learned the Vedas. The saints call it high and lowly houses. They are the blessed fields. Detractor of the learned doctors, how dare you speak thus in our presence? This food and drink should rather rot than we should give it to you. Nirgrantha, one without any bonds. If you do not give me what I ask for, I who observe the Samitis, who am protected by the Guptis, who subdue my senses, what benefit then will you gain by your sacrifices? Are here no Kshatriyas, no priests who tend the fire, no teachers with their disciples who will beat him with a stick or pelt him with a nut, take him by the neck and drive him off? On these words of the teachers, many young fellows rushed forward, and they all beat the sage with sticks, canes, and whips. At that turn, King Kausalika's daughter, Vadra, of faultless body, saw that the monk was beaten and appeased the angry youngsters. He is the very man to whom the king, impelled by the devil who possessed me, had given me, but who would not think of me. He is the sage whom princes and gods adore, who has refused me. He is that austere ascetic of noble nature who subdues his senses and controls himself, the chaste man who would not accept me when my own father, King Kausalika, gave me to him. He is the man of great fame and might, of awful piety and power. Do not injure him who cannot be injured, lest he consume you all by the fire of his virtue. When the Yakshas heard these well-spoken words of the Purohit's wife Vadra, they came to the assistance of the sage and kept the young man off. Appearing in the air with hideous shapes, the Asuras beat the people. Vadra spoke again thus: "You may as well dig rocks with your nails, or eat iron with your teeth, or kick fire with your feet, as treat contemptuously a monk." Like a poisonous snake is a great sage of severe austerities, of tremendous piety and power. Like a swarm of moths, you will rust into a fire if you beat a monk on his begging tour. Prostrate yourself before him for protection, you together with all of them, if you want to save your life and your property, for in his wrath he might reduce the world to ashes. When the Brahmana saw the disciples, he became heartbroken and dejected, and together with his wife he appeased the sage. "Forgive us for our injury and abuse, sir. Forgive, sir, these ignorant, stupid boys, that they injured you. Sages are exceedingly gracious, nor are the saints inclined to wrath. There is not the least hatred in me, neither now, nor before, nor in future. The Yakshas attend upon me, therefore they have beaten the boys. You know the truth and the law, spiritual precepts. You are not angry, compassionate sage. We take refuge at your feet, we together with all of them. We worship you, mighty sir. There is nothing in you that we do not worship. Eat this dish of boiled rice seasoned with many condiments. I have got plenty of food. Eat it to do us a favor." The noble monk said yes, and took food and drink after having fasted a whole month. At that moment, the gods caused a rain of perfumed water and flowers and showered down heavenly treasures. They struck the drums, and in the air they praised the gift. The value of penance has become visible. Birth appears of no value. Look at the holy Harikesa, the son of a Swapaka, whose power is so great. O Brahmanas, why do you tend the fire and seek external purity by water? The clever ones say that external purity which you seek for is not the right thing. You use kusa grass, sacrificial poles, straw and wood. You touch water in the evening and in the morning. Thereby you injure living beings, and in your ignorance you commit sins again and again. How should we sacrifice, O monk, and how to avoid sinful actions? Tell us, ascetic, whom the Yakshas hold in honor, what do the clever ones declare to be the right method of sacrificing? Doing no injury to living beings of the 6 orders, abstaining from lying and from taking what is not freely given, renouncing property, women, pride and deceit, men should live under self-restraint. He who is well protected by the 5 samvaras and is not attached to this life, who abandons his body, who is pure and does not care for his body, wins the great victory, the best of offerings. Where is your fire, your fireplace, your sacrificial ladle, where the dried cow dung used as fuel? Without these things, what kind of priests can the monks be? What oblations do you offer to the fire? Penance is my fire, life my fireplace. Right exertion is my sacrificial ladle, the body, the dried cow dung. Karma is my fuel, self-control, right exertion and tranquility are the oblations. Praised by the sages, which I offer. Where is your pond and where the holy bathing place? How do you make your ablutions or get rid of impurity? Tell us, O restrained monk, whom the yakshas hold in honor. We desire to learn it from you. The law, spiritual precepts, is my pond, celibacy my holy bathing place, which is not turbid and throughout clear for the soul. There I make ablutions pure, clean and thoroughly cooled. I get rid of hatred or impurity. The clever ones have discovered such bathing. It is the great bath praised by the seers, in which the great seers bathe, and pure and clean they obtain the highest place. Thus I say,
Vegan, the entire creation kowtows to you.
Warm-hearted viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company on today's Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is Georgia Fumanti, Vegan, a voice from the heart, right after noteworthy news. May the infinite heavenly light and love illuminate your own inner wisdom.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.